What is going on, everybody? UCF Jaguar here. Final game of the season, and what a game. What an outcome. Just what an overall day. It really could not have been any better outside of maybe getting a fireballky kind of thing going. Maybe that happens tomorrow. We'll see. But the Jacksonville Jaguars today win their final game of the season. Also, the Lions win their final game of the season, meaning the Jaguars get to keep their number one overall pick in this upcoming draft. And on top of that, they knocked the Colts out of the playoffs. A division rival, they knocked them out of the playoffs. And, I don't watch Hard Knocks. I haven't been watching this year, but I'm going to find a way. I don't have HBO, but I'm going to find a way to watch that episode, the final episode, to see how sad Colts are after this loss. Get some shout outs, some people here. Already 83 people up in here. Thanks everyone for being here. We got some people are making conversation. AZ Jag saying, what's up, man? What's going on? Cameron. We got C Breacher in the building throwing up Urban Meyer emojis. It's Reese. What's going on, man? Alex Beach. What's up, homie? We got Moon Illusions. Nick Logwood says, just get HBO Max. I'm not rolling like that just yet, man. Maybe one day I'll get myself on some HBO stuff, but I don't really feel like getting the subscription. But I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna find a way to watch it. There's ways that we can bootleg it. So yeah, but today, man, the Jaguars beat their asses. I put on Twitter, there's 3 guarantees in life. That's death, taxes, and the Jaguars beating the Colts asses in Jacksonville. Colts haven't won there since 2014, since Chad Henne was our starting quarterback. They went through the Blake Bortles era, the Gardner Minshew era, now the Trevor Lawrence era without getting a win in Jacksonville. It is just crazy. It's a crazy stat. You can't believe that it's true. Matt with a $5 donation. What a game, bro. Colts fans behind me chirping for me for my Lawrence jersey until the second half. Yeah, man, it's they must feel pretty bad about themselves right now because Carson Wentz, yikes, man. Carson Wentz was ultimately the reason why they did not get into the playoffs. And I'm not talking about today. I'm talking about multiple times where, all they needed was one more win. And Carson Wentz, all the time, he chokes at the end of the game. He chokes. And that was his thing for the Eagles too. And look at the Eagles now. They get rid of Carson Wentz, and now Jalen Hurts goes in there, and now they're in the playoffs. Colts have a better roster. They have like 8 Pro Bowl players or something like that. And they couldn't get into the playoffs. What a shame. It's a shame. It's a shame. It really is a shame to see. But here we are, man. We're playing spoilers. The only downside of that is that now the Steelers are being led in the playoffs. And not that I have anything against the Steelers. It's more because their team is just so boring. Oh, God. It's when the Steelers are on, I really don't care to watch. It's just, seeing Roethlisberger, play with a walker. And it's just not great football. So thank you for the donation. Be new in the building with a $10 donation. Thank you, man. He says, let's go. Good freaking win. And we kept our number 1 pick. Man, that win felt better than a Miami and Buffalo win. It did. And look, I wasn't really wanting to win the Jets game as that game was going on. If we won that Jets game, it would have felt like a cheap win. Even the Houston game, I'm like, if we beat the Texans, Trevor Lawrence didn't play all that well, it doesn't feel right. But this game, the way, I wanted to knock the Colts out of the playoffs, and then Trevor Lawrence is playing amazing, and we just put an ass whooping on them. This was a true victory. It was an ass beating. Our offense played great. Defense played great. I think Matthew Wright was like 4 for 4 or 5 for 5 on field goals. This win felt great. And now it didn't hurt our draft pick. I mean, we're still picking number 1 in every round. It was a perfect day for us clowns out there. Thank you, B New, for the $10 donation. Cameron says, loved hearing hype up UCF Jaguar. Let's go, dude. It's few and far between, man. It's few and far between. I don't know if I don't know if I would have done a live stream if we won or not, if we lost today. I'll tell you, today I was actually in Tampa. It was a weird situation for me. I was at an event with my fiance, and then I was just watching the game like on my phone. up until 3 o'clock. Then I had to help her break down. I'm like sitting there, things in one hand watching the game. And, luckily by that time, the Jaguars were like winning by like 20. And it was fun. It was, oh man, it was such a great feeling. And, Colts fan, I can't imagine being a Colts fans. They had to have been like, we have it. This is easy. Just take care of business. But I don't know what it is, man. I mean, Jacksonville is not a daunting place for many opponents, but the Colts, it's just they can't win there. And, we're used to getting beat down by other teams, man. Like San Francisco fans come in here and they beat, like every other fan base can come in here and it's an easy win, except for the Colts. And we are terrible against other AFC South teams. We can't beat we haven't beat the Texans since 2017. Obviously, we've had our games with the Titans where they just, we've beaten them like once, in the past like however many years. We beat them on a Thursday night football game here. It's crazy. So, but at least we have the Colts number. Thank you, Cameron, for the $10 donation. It's Reese with a $10 donation. Nothing better than ruining the playoff hopes for a division rival. Let's address that O-line/D line. Yeah, it's crazy this game because Jaguars have a lot of work to do. And, the scary thing about the Jaguars is it feels like we have a lot of good players, but we don't have many like great elite players. Like we need a number one receiver. We need a number one tight end. I think we need like a really like a top 5 offensive lineman at one of those positions, whether it be tackle, guard, center. I think we have some decent pieces there, but we need a guy to take us over the top, and that kind of goes all the way around. You know what I mean? So, but just seeing the team play today, it's like, why can't we do that more consistently? Why can't we just play better more? I mean, we have what it takes. It feels like, it feels like if we play like that, if we just play with a little bit more consistency, we're not the garbage team that it looks like we are. You know what I mean? But obviously, it started with Trevor Lawrence is getting protection and making the throws, man. I mean, I'll get into him a little bit later, but my God, some of the throws that he was making, just incredible. Shout out to Ryan with a $2 donation. Thank you so much. Elo with a $5 donation. This is what happens when Trevor has a game plan. Also, it looked like Trent was reading a long text near halftime. Maybe it was Con saying get out. I don't know, man. That's some tinfoil hat stuff. I saw a video on Twitter. Someone was telling him, like, someone literally said to his face, let me see if I can, I'm going to try to pull it up for you guys. But someone literally, like, it made me feel a little bit bad, not going to lie. I'm gonna share with you guys what someone literally said to his face, like, hey, can you leave? Can you leave this city? Let's see if I can find it. All right, I can't see it. Damn it. All right, whatever. I'll find it. Someone can, if someone DMs it to me, I'm sure you guys have seen it. So just shoot me a DM and I'll see if I can play it up here. But yeah, I mean, tomorrow's going to be the day. You're not going to fire him today. I mean, I thought maybe if we lost, got killed, got beat 50-10 like we did last week, maybe, just to do something with the fan base, maybe they'll fire him. But tomorrow's going to be Judgment Day. There are multiple people, like every media guy out there now is basically saying that there's guys that are hesitant to take this job because Trent Baalke is there. And, Shad Khan's been interviewing different guys. So, he hears it from reports and probably directly from these coaches' mouths that said, look, like this guy right there, I don't know if I can, coach a team with him as a GM. So, I mean, we'll see. I swear to God, man, we better not go the like Bill O'Brien, Trent Baalke route. That would, I mean, it would be like, why are you so married to this man? That's the route we go. Oh, God, positive thoughts only right now. AZ Jags fan 22 with a $5 donation. Walker Little to right tackle, Evan Neal to left tackle. Load up wide receivers / tight end in free agency and draft. Do not let Turner become Sam Darnold. Feed that beast like he's Mahomes. And that's an interesting thing that you bring up, man. And thank you for the donation. What's it called? Like, because right now we're in a situation where it's like we have Cam Robinson going into free agency, and I don't want to be in a situation where we let good players walk. Like he's one of our best offensive linemen, but at the same time, Walker Little needs to be starting on the offensive line somewhere. Walker Little has proved that he's good enough. I would love to move him to right tackle. Play Cam Robinson to left tackle. than get like Thibodeau or something, or one of these top edge rushers in the draft. Because look, Smoot had a good year. You know what I mean? And Josh Allen proves that he can do some stuff, but I think you need that top tier guy. And the only way you get that is through the draft. I'm probably, and I don't know how Walker Little looks at right tackle. You know what I mean? I haven't seen him have many reps, but if he can move there, keep, in my opinion, we keep, Cam Robinson at left tackle, sign him and boom. Because I'm trying to get out of the fact that of letting players walk, letting good players get out of this building. I'd love to keep Cam Robinson. He's been with us through all our downs times. So it's just a thought, but drafting Evan Neal, I guess I wouldn't be too mad about that. Now we're kind of getting more into draft mode. So we'll see what the Jaguars decide to do. But thank you for the donation. Richmond Gravy Bear said, "Did you see Jihad Ward put Dylan Moses on blast?" I did not see that. He was saying he was like, "Where he at? He betrayed us." Really? What was that on Twitter? I don't know. I have not. I haven't been around social media today. I literally, I was in my car driving home about an hour ago. So I haven't been super in tune with all that. But he said he was joking with Moses. Yeah, I mean, Jihad Ward, I don't know if I'd take anything he says too seriously. So I don't know. His Insta Live. Okay. I'll take a look at that later. Maybe he was joking. I mean, Jihad Ward, he's literally the biggest joker on the team. So yeah. So I want to get into Trevor Lawrence now, dude. Like, we've been waiting for Trevor Lawrence to have that game, to have that franchise quarterback, elite quarterback game. And this was that game, man. You go through his numbers, 23 of 32 passing. I believe that's, I don't know. My accounting brain says it's probably like 71 or 72%. Let me know in the comments what that is. 72% completion percentage. 223 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. And man, like, a lot of his incompletions were just drops. I mean, we saw like a deep ball to Treadwell dropped. Laviska Shenault dropped a couple. You know what I mean? It was not really on him, but man, some of the throws that he made, one of them, obviously that touchdown pass in the end zone where he had a bad snap and he chucked it in the back. Even one where he was rolling to the right and he was pressured and it looked like he was thrown away, but it was completed for like 8 or 9 yards. Incredible game by Trevor Lawrence. Started off with like 9 for 9. He didn't throw a lot of passes. I mean, he did most of his work in the first half, and then we kind of just grinded the clock out. We kind of accepted field goals and just extended this lead to the point where, there was no return. But man, like, it's such a good game for Trevor Lawrence to have. Like, that last taste in his mouth was this game, so he's not going in there like, super head down. He needed this win, and the Jaguars needed this win. Everybody all around needed this win. WRT Clutch says, "Can we talk about Tyson Campbell?" Tyson Campbell was a beast, man. That one tackle that he had on Jonathan Taylor when he was trying to take it to the edge, man, that was an athletic play. And Tyson Campbell did not start this year out very well. He was one of the worst graded guys, but man, like, he turned it around. And we all talk about fire Balky, man. Like, I don't want to say this. I don't want to keep Balky, but this rookie class showed out today. Trevor Lawrence balled. Tyson Campbell balled. Left tackle Walker Little. Last couple of games, he's been really good. Andre Sisco, really good. He punched the ball out on Nyheim Hines. I haven't seen a Jaguar defensive back do that in forever. I mean, our rookies showed out. So I give Balky some credit for that. And the reason why we want to fire Balky isn't necessarily his personnel stuff. It's the fact that nobody likes him. You know what I mean? Nobody likes Trent Baalke. None of these coaches, and it's going to affect the coaching search. And, we want to get the best coach in here. We don't want to, like in 2017, the Jaguars hired Doug Marrone as the head coach because he was like the only head coach that would accept Blake Bortles as their starting quarterback. You know what I mean? It says, "We have Blake. Are you willing to work with Blake?" Guys like Shanahan and McVay said no. So they kept Doug Marrone around because he was going to work with Blake Bortles, and we saw how that worked out. Also, we don't want this year to say, okay, who's willing to work with Trent Baalke? We don't want to go down that route. You know what I mean? So that's the main reason why we had to get rid of him. But his class showed out today. Reese Snow with a $20 donation says, safe to say we got our QB. Get the right coach and a couple wide receivers, and we have an offense to fear. Defense will all improve with one of these defensive ends in the draft. I think we will shock some people if we get the right coach. Exactly, man. Exactly. I mean, we showed that if everybody, if we just play with some consistency, this team just play with some consistency, we can be pretty damn good. I mean, we can at least win some games. We're not going to get just blown out every week in this embarrassing fashion. So, you're right. I mean, it's going to be, we got a lot of work to do. We got to roll our sleeves up. We might have to get creative when it comes to, getting some wide receivers in here like that are veterans. You know what I mean? We might have to do some trading because I don't know. I don't really like the wide receiver free agent class. And that's one reason why I want to potentially, see what's going on with Calvin Ridley, because man, like that is the type of receiver we need. That speedy guy, great route runner, gets good separation. It's just, we got to see where he's at mentally, because we don't want another CJ Henderson in here. You know what I mean? Obviously, he's been really good most of the season out this year. So, I'd love to put some feelers out to kind of see what's going on with him. But Reese Snow, thank you so much for a $20 donation. Very, very generous, man. Nick with a $5 donation. As odd as this sounds, I think Urban Meyer deserves a ton of credit for this draft, more than Baalke. Baalke had to be more of a free agent guy. I don't know, man. That's going to be tough to say. But for me, from what it looks like, Urban Meyer didn't do shit. I mean, he was so hands off. He wasn't involved in the Jaguars game planning. I don't know how involved he was with the actual scouting. I think probably the ETN pick had Meyer's hands all over it, but I don't know, man. I don't. That's what's hard. That's what's hard, is trying to go around and see who did what, especially with Urban Meyer around the building. But I don't know. I'm not giving Urban Meyer any credit for anything, though. I'll be honest with you. He doesn't deserve. And that's one thing I put on Twitter. I'm like, is there a chance that like Urban Meyer was trying to stick it to Trent Baalke by not playing some of the rookies? I mean, he waited forever to play Walker Little. Andre Cisco, we've been freaking banging the drum to play him all season, and he never did it. He wasn't getting any play. I don't know if Jay Tufele, Jordan Smith wasn't getting any play at all until he left. It's like, is there a fact that was he trying to like low key, like not necessarily sabotage, but just like try not to play Baalke's draft picks? I don't know. I haven't heard. This is something that I came up with. This is my conspiracy. I don't know, but there's really no reason why Andre Cisco was not seeing the field until after Urban was fired. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say, man. So thank you, Nick, for the donation. David Bryan with a $5 donation. The best of this is that the Colts have not won a Duval, in my guess, in the past 7 to 8 years. 2014, man. Oh my gosh. It's just, I cannot believe that. I don't know what it is about Jacksonville. They can't play here. They can't win here. And it was a little bit hot. I think it was 78 degrees. So it's a little bit more hot than probably India's used to at this time of year, but man, that's that's good stuff. So it was a good win. I mean, shame on the Colts for not coming in here. I mean, Colts came in here sleepwalking, man. They didn't. What were they doing? I mean, they had no excuse to lose this game. I don't care the location. They had no excuse, and they came in here and they threw a thud, a true dud. What's his face? Carson Wentz was terrible. Fumbling. He was throwing interceptions. Like some of these third downs, like we didn't know where the ball was going to. It was just bad, man. It was just bad. AZ Jags fan with a $5 donation. Urban Meyer was in over his head. He redshirted all the rookies because he needed an NFL veteran players to tell him what he had to do since he had no clue. Yeah, that's an all-time. I mean, that's an all-time low, man. I mean, that's that'll go down as one of the worst head coaching hires in NFL history. Like Urban Meyer trying to do the NFL, just terrible. What a clown show that was. What a true clown show that was. Shout out to everybody in here, man. 285 people in here, man. Thanks, guys, for being here. Drop your likes for me if you guys can. Definitely helps out the stream. And also, shout out to all the members. I see, AZ Jags fan is a member. Ninja at Night is also a member. Cameron's a member. Thanks all you guys for supporting. You You guys become members for as low as $3 a month. I'm going to start, bringing back the monthly, Zoom meetings where we get to talk to everybody. So it'll be a lot of fun. We have a Steelers fan in here from Australia with a $5 Australian donation. He says, "Thank you, Jags. Thank you so much." Hey, man, you guys almost blew it there, but I didn't think the Jags had any chance of helping you guys out, but I can't believe we did it. And, you're welcome. You're welcome. That's crazy. It's crazy. I can't. You guys had to be shocked. Reese Snow, one more thing I thought more of y'all were gonna wear clown costumes today. Man, I look like a dumbass. Was it that? Because I was thinking maybe 10%. Maybe 10%. I know CBS wasn't showing any of that. I think the NFL badge, maybe they thought that it was a bad look to be showing clowns and stuff like that. I didn't see, at least on the CBS, when I was watching on my phone, I didn't see any clown shots. So, there's that. Shout out to Cat God, who just became a YouTube member. Shout out to you, man. Throw down your Duval emojis, man. If you're a member, throw those Duval emojis down below, man. And I'll be bringing back, especially after we get our head coach, bringing back the StreamYard, stuff where we can all chill and chat and stuff like that. So, shout out to you guys, man. But yeah, it's he said less than 10% for sure. Okay. Yeah, I was thinking 10% maybe, but I mean, there's 50,000 people there. How many of them are on Twitter? How many of them are the older? I mean, I know like the Facebook crowd is usually the older crowd, and a lot of them, aren't really, they're not, Twitter and Facebook, they're completely different groups, man. You get completely different perspectives from each side. So, it's always interesting checking in. I know Twitter, they were all about it. Facebook, just not as much. Richmond Gravy Bear said, "I heard they're trying to trade J-Rob. #fire Balky." Are they? I didn't know if wasn't J-Rob more of like an Urban Meyer faulting, like Urban Meyer had more beef with him than anybody. I don't know. That's a little bit interesting. But also shout out to Marvin Jones. I think he needed like 4 receptions today to get like 400 grand. So shout out to him. Smoot needed a sack to get $250,000 and he got that. So, that's pretty dope. But yeah, we spread the ball around a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different guys with, oh wait, no, that's 6 different guys with receptions. Luke Farrell and M. Sargent both had a target. Who saw Sargent out there drop that ball and they're like, who the hell is this guy? Even the announcer said his name wrong. And it was funny. So spreading the ball around like that, you can tell like the running back room, it's definitely, you can tell it's a lot different without James Robinson. Even though Raquel Armstead had a good game, 9 attempts, 52 yards, that's like a little bit over 5 yards a carry. So, I mean, he was pretty good. But, you can tell J-Rob's just so much, he just sees the field so much better. His jump cut is so much better. And I'm excited to see ETN come back, man. I don't know anything about his recovery. I wish beat writers would, look into that more. I'd love to see more of that. So, I'd love that. B New with a $5 donation. Trent Baalke pushing for O'Brien as head coach, Fangio as defense coordinator. What do you think, bro? Oh, gosh. I'd love to get Fangio as a defensive coordinator. I would prefer if we get, I think the perfect thing is if we were to get Kellen Moore as head coach, because I think Kellen Moore would need an older guy to be a defensive coordinator, kind of like what Sean McVay did with Wade Phillips. Fangio would be perfect if we brought in a guy like, a guy like Kellen Moore, first-year head coach. But, oh, God, O'Brien, please no. Oh, gosh. Talk about deep throating the shit out of Trent Baalke when it comes to Shad Khan. That would, no. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Moon Loser says Zimmer. Honestly, I wouldn't mind keeping Joe Cullen around. Joe Cullen did a damn good job this year. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Who wants to look at O'Brien's chin for years to come? I can't sit there in press conferences looking at, the butthole chin, man. Oh, it's bad. I just, gosh, we have so many great coaching candidates. There's literally I made a video yesterday. There's like 9 guys that the Jaguars wanted to talk to. I'd be fine with like, a Buffalo Bills 6 out of 9 of them. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want Todd Bowles. I don't want Dan Quinn, and I don't want Bill O'Brien. Those are the guys I do not want. I would love Doug Peterson. I'd love Jim Caldwell. And I would love, my sleeper is if we were to go to new head coach route, Kellen Moore. But other than that, man, and yeah, David Bryan, the Lions did win. And because I was in such a weird location today that, I didn't, because I was, like I said, I was watching on my phone. I wasn't looking at other NFL scores. I was literally just so zoned in on the Jags, where like after the game, was over, I was like, I wonder what happened with the CBS, with the Lions game, because I had no idea what was going on the whole entire game. I was like, they beat the Packers, and I realized Packers benched some guys later on. But man, oh my gosh. Because today I think I would have still felt good, but it's like, man, we did back up a spots. Now we have to, now we had to sit here and predict who the Lions are going to get and then who we're going to get after that. But now it's like, look, the whole entire we have our selection of anybody, any college football player in this upcoming draft. So I'm definitely excited about that. Ultratron just DeJuan Smoot is a beast. Yeah, he's taking it to the next level, and he's definitely a great number 3 defensive end. Josh Allen is a great number 2, but that's what I'm saying. This draft, like, figure out which one of these defensive end is the best. If we're going to stay at 1, figure it out and get that guy, because we really need that guy. We need somebody on a defense that defensive coordinators had to really, really game plan for, that can go in there, they can just wreck a game. We saw Josh Allen wreck one game, I think, his whole career, and that was against the Bills. But, we need a guy that's just an animal all over the field. He shows up every single week. A guy that just wreaks havoc that way, because that opens the field up for a lot more opportunity when it comes to, Josh Allen, his rookie year, had double-digit sacks. He could thank Calais Campbell and Unique Ngakoue for being main focuses, because that freed him up. And now that Josh Allen is the focus, he doesn't go out there and do as much. And it's just, he's a great number 2, and we'll take that. But, we need that top premier guy, 100%. Nobody will want to trade up to 1. Yeah, that's what it's looking like. So, we'll see. UCF, we might have to take Evan Neal instead of Tibbs. Maybe not. We could use offensive linemen, absolutely. I still want to re-sign Cam Robinson. And if we re-sign Cam Robinson, he's going to stick at left tackle. He played all his years at Alabama at left tackle, all 5 years for the Jaguars at left tackle. Usually he's going to stick there, and he's not going to switch positions, because left tackle is where you make your money. You know what I mean? So if you keep Walker Little, he's going to go to right tackle. And then I don't know how Evan Neal projects as a guard. I don't mind drafting guard, in the top 5, especially if, you get a guy like Quentin Nelson or something like that. And you just need dogs, man. You need blue chip talent. That's for damn sure. And, we saw Trevor Lawrence today, man. Give him some protection. He can make some things happen. You know what I mean? And at this point, my ideal situation, I told you guys, I want to, if we were to trade back, I'd love to try to acquire a proven veteran wide receiver instead of like more draft picks. Because look, we've gone through the draft pick route. We trade back, we get draft picks, and I don't know where they turn out. They turn into, CJ Chason and Travis Etienne and Jordan Smith. You know what I mean? Like, I'd like to, I want to try to get a proven player in here. And that's why I made in a video earlier this week when Calvin Ridley was up there, I was like, what if we traded back to their spot? We get Calvin Ridley, and then, we move forward. But, we'll see. That kind of stuff kind of rarely happens. I think we should trade down. Yeah, that's kind of where probably 90% of Jags fans are. It's just, we want to trade down because there's no premier talent at number 1. So with that said, why would anybody want to trade up to number 1 if there was no premier talent? You know what I mean? We'd have to get a really, really discounted rate for trading down. It's like, if you trade down to number 5, is just a third round pick enough? You know, would you trade from number 1 to number 5 if all we're getting is a third round pick? Because that might be the going rate. You know what I mean? I don't know if that's, you know, at that point it's like, is that, yeah, and people are shouting out Bob Saget. Yeah, Bob Saget appears to have died. I guess his last show was in Ponte Vedra. He didn't really have a huge impact on my life, but I know, you know, with Full House and stuff like that, a lot of people, and like Family Video, a lot of people really liked him. So, you know, hate to see, you know, legends in the media like that go, legends in the, you know, entertainment industry. So shout out to Bob Saget. Llama Guy with a $2 donation. We need to sign Antonio Brown. I don't think so. Love the talent, but come on, man. I mean, if you know, you see how Antonio Brown is. I mean, did you hear his interview with the Nelk boys? Like, he's like, "Why am I on a prove it deal, man? You know, we got Gronkowski making all the money. I'm the best receiver. You know what I mean?" And it's like, dude, you're on a prove it deal because you had to prove it, and guess what? You didn't prove it. You couldn't last your prove it deal. So that's why. I mean, you're not. The reason why you're not getting premier money is because no one can trust you. And look, and you're obviously delusional if you think you're the best receiver on the Buccaneers. You know what I mean? It's crazy. It's crazy. I made a joke. I'm like, oh, we should go out there. I made a joke on Twitter. I was like, hey, should we bring another clown into the clown show? But yeah, it's Reese. That's hell no to AB. But yeah, I want to give some more shout outs. So yeah, shout out to Marvin Jones for 7 receptions, 88-yard game. So obviously a big game by him. Laviska Shenault pulled out with 62 yards. Man, he left a lot on the field, man. I swear that boy can only catch slant routes and bubble screens. Other than that, like, he is just so worthless down the field. And, you know, he had a chance right there, right at the end of the half, to catch the ball and extend out for a touchdown. He didn't do it. You know what I mean? And, you know, he'll probably have a shoe in on the roster next year because he is on that rookie contract, but he's got to work on his hands, man. You know what I mean? I don't know if that's a culture type of thing where, because he was pretty good last year, but I think just through the whole NFL draft process and, you know, OTAs and stuff like that, I think he was just, you know, super prepared, you know, to play it. And maybe some of these guys have a really long offseason and they're kind of left on their own. You know, maybe he got a little bit lazy and didn't do what he needed to do, you know, to be great this year. I don't know. But, you know, he needs to be a lot better because he has talent, man. You know, he's big old boy. He can, you know, bounce through people. And, you know, once he has the ball in his hands, it could be pretty exciting. But yeah, he's got to get a lot better. He left a lot of, you know, points on the board. Real quick to the defensive side of the ball. Yeah, Tyson Campbell, 6 tackles. So that's, you know, he had a really good game. Shout out to Adam Gottstis. He had a sack and he had a really, really crucial 4th down stop. You know, Miles Jack had a really good play too. I'm on CBS Sports. They don't have the extended stats on here. No, let me go to box score. That'll be better, I think. No, it's not any better. Whatever. But yeah, then lastly, I want to give a shout out to special teams. Matthew Wright, 4 for 4 on field goals. He's been he had some rocky games this year, but toward the end of the season, like, I don't think he missed a single kick in the last quarter of the season. You know what I mean? So he's been pretty good. And I was like, I saw him knock a kickoff through the back of the end zone for a touchback. I'm like, there's no way this is the same Jaguar team if Matthew Wright is kicking touchbacks. So that was one that was pretty shocking. Shout out to Damian Wilson. He had a game today, man. He had that interception. Just Carson Wentz threw a really bad pick, and it wound up in Damian Wilson's hands, like right after the second half, or right at the start of the second half. Just terrible. So yeah, it was fun seeing. I'm not a big fan of Carson Wentz. I think he's kind of a baby. So I don't mind. I don't feel any sympathy for Carson Wentz. We should get UCF Jaguars next head coach. I don't think so. I'd take the paycheck. I would pull the Urban Meyer. I'd get the money, work 9 to 5, and get. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I would coach a football team. I don't know how that works. Campbell is closer to Ramsey than Henderson was. Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, and Henderson, it's not like he was bad. It's just, you know, if you gave Shaquille Griffin Henderson's athleticism and speed, he'd be a great player. It says CJ Henderson. Did CJ Henderson want to be great? I haven't heard anything about what he's been doing for the Panthers. I'm sure Panthers have some buyer's remorse with that because when we made that trade, everyone was like, oh my God, Jacksonville got fleeced. Oh, he just doesn't want to be in Jacksonville. He's fine. And then we're trying to warn people, look, it's a lot more than that. And look, we got a 3rd round pick and Dan Arnold, who is pretty good today. So yeah, that was pretty good. I do feel bad for your fellow coworker, Michael Pittman Jr. Yeah, I don't really care. Panthers say CJ is awful. Yeah, I don't think he cares. You know what I mean? At least we got something for him while we did, but that was just, talk about a terrible, God, our 2020 draft was disastrous. That's as disastrous as they come, man. You get CJ Henderson, Chason, Laviska Shenault in the 2nd round. Devon Hamilton was pretty good. And who else did we get? Let me look at that draft. Devon Hamilton recovered that fumble today, which is good. So, CJ Henderson, Kayvon Chason, Laviska Shenault, Devon Hamilton, Ben Barch, Josiah Scott, who's not on the team anymore, Shaquille Quarterman, who's a backup, Daniel Thomas, Colin Johnson, Jake Luton, Tyler Davis, and Chris Claybrooks. So, yeah, on this list, Devon Hamilton turned into a solid player and Ben Barch. So we got 2 guys that get significant playing time, and we have Shaquille Quarterman and Daniel Thomas, who are special teams guys. That's what we got out of that 2020 class. Terrible. What a terrible draft class that was, man. Yikes. And I mean, we got no game changers. I mean, Devon Hamilton, he's a nice solid run stuffer. Ben Barch is going to be like an average right guard. But oh gosh. What a terrible draft, man. That's gross to look at. Our 4th or 5th best player on here is probably Colin Johnson, who's not even on a team anymore. I'm going to close out of this. That's depressing. So let's see what else we got. Trade for Michael Thomas. I don't know what, I was one to trade for Michael Thomas last year, or at the beginning of the season, but he seems like a little bit of a head case. I mean, you got to do some thorough homework on these guys. Visca would benefit from right coach and McCardell in his ear. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if McCardell's coming back. You know what I mean? He's with. You never know, man. They might shake up that coaching staff over there with the Vikings. We'll see tomorrow what coaches are out. Vic Fangio obviously got the axe. Now there's saying reports that David Coley might be out, for the Texans. I thought he did pretty good this year. I mean, he developed Davis Mills pretty well. And, they hung in some games. They almost beat the Titans today. I don't know. That one's a little interesting. And how much does that suck, man? The Titans have a 1st round bye. At least we don't have to watch the Titans next week. But man, I really hope they don't make it to the Super Bowl. I really hope they don't make it to the Super Bowl. I'm gonna cheer for teams like I think the Bengals can take them down. Probably even the Patriots, I think, probably have a chance. I don't know. I don't see them advancing to the Super Bowl. I just don't. Texans look alive. Lions too. Yeah, I know. Yeah, they had some good games today, man. I disagree. Michael Thomas is one of the only few NFL players to hold out for a bigger contract and actually before better afterwards. Yeah, I mean, he held out for a contract and he did, and it was bad, right? It turned out to be pretty bad. We look great today. I agree. Okay, yeah, we're gonna get this guy out of here. Block user. Okay. No spamming. This is not the Jaguars official account, okay? Not the Jaguars official account. We don't spam up in here, okay? I don't know why the Jaguars, don't have like moderators in their live streams, because that stuff gets off the rails with trolls in there, man. By the way, did you guys see I'm sure you guys all saw it around Twitter and stuff like that, but they do the Jaguars trivia questions before, like, during commercial timeouts, and the A, Brandon Linder, B, Ben Barch, C, whatever, and the woman goes, D, fire Trent Baalke. Like, they literally said it over the freaking how crazy is that? Let's see. I'm gonna see if I can find the. I'm trying to find the. Bear with me, guys. I'm trying to find where the person told Trent Baalke to leave. Let me look for this. Oh, here it is. Okay. I'll be honest, this made me almost feel a little bit bad for him. Okay. Let me share screen. Oh, wait. Hold on. I got to share the audio as well. Okay. Okay. Watch this.
Trent, please step down. Please.
Oh, gosh.
He stinks. Yeah, he's bad.
He said it right to his face. Oh, my gosh. I give him credit. I wouldn't have done it. I mean, I talk all about these guys and like the internet and stuff, but that's how it is. I mean, we're football. I mean, these guys get paid millions of dollars so we can judge them. I wouldn't say it to one of those guys' face, but it's a little bit cringe. It's a little bit cringe. I agree with Moon Illusion's a little bit cringe, but that's Baalke's not having it. I'm surprised Baalke didn't just say, FO. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know. It's a little different than Bill O'Brien. Here, let me pull up a Bill O'Brien clip for you guys. If you guys want to see a polar opposite reaction, let's see. It's asking me like now on my Twitter if I want to pay money to promote my tweets. No, I'm good. Let's see. Oh, here we go. All right. Okay. Let's go ahead. Increase this. All right. Hopefully you guys can hear this. Oh my God. Did you hear that? Oh my God. All I'm saying is don't stand outside if the Jaguars hire Bill O'Brien and tell him to step down. You're gonna get some Bill O'Brien treatment. Yeah. He says, damn, Bob Venus laughing. Do not hire that guy. He has no self-control. Yeah, that's guys being like, coach, chill. Dude, we can't do that, man. God, Shad, please don't do it. Please don't do it, Shad. That's a funny clip. The Baalke one is a little bit cringy to me. But that one, that's a funny little clip there. Hire this man at all costs. That's a bad job out of Bill. Don't react like that. You look soft. Yeah, he got some TMZ type video uncovered of him. And that's that's like weak stuff, man. You can't let it's like when I have trolls in here. It's like I just ignore the trolls. It's like, look, I don't care what you think. What does Bill O'Brien care about what some random drunk guy in the stands thinks about him? You know what I mean? Just understand you're the head coach of an NFL team. You make a lot more money than him. You've been more successful than whoever this guy is his whole entire life. So, just take that and run with it, man. You don't gotta lose your cool like that. But shout out to that fan, man. He was not letting down. Could you imagine Urban He would try to kick people. Yeah, he would. Yeah, wouldn't be good. If we hire Bill O'Brien, we have the NFL meme page on us again. Oh gosh, I can't look at that. Let me see. All right, let me see if I can find this picture. It's like a hilarious picture of Bill O'Brien. Yeah, I can't find it. It was a funny meme where like they put like the clown emoji right on his like butt dimple or whatever it is. Bill was pig mad, I know. AZ Jags fan, no self-control leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to not micromanage. Not micromanaging leads to poopy fingers. Exactly. And, we want a guy that can establish the culture, that can relate to the players. I mean, Jim Caldwell just seems like a saint compared to this guy. I mean, we can't have a guy that's losing it like that. And that's why, players wanted out of there so bad. They didn't want to play for him because, the guy is clearly a hothead. You know what I mean? That's not what you want, man. But shout out to everybody in here, man. 270 people in here for a Victory Sunday live stream to end the Jaguar season. The Jaguars finished the season 3-14. It's a terrible season, awful to endure. We went through the Urban Meyer experience and all his BS from, signing Tim Tebow to the Phoenix Cardinals to not knowing his own players' names to staying in Cincinnati and, getting poopy fingers to just that whole entire mess. We endured that. We endured the fact we were not developing our rookie franchise quarterback at all. And, we led him to regress. Luckily, he had this game. So this is kind of the final taste we have in our mouth of Trevor Lawrence this game. And I think it gives us all a better sense of optimism going into this offseason. And we had the number one pick in the draft. So that's good. Now got to get our hands dirty, man. Now, tomorrow, I'm sure at some point we are going to figure out if we're going to keep Balky. I'm sure by 6 or 7 o'clock tomorrow, we'll figure out. Hopefully tomorrow morning, we get official word because, Shad can't let this linger around. Shad has not gone out there and made any kind of statement about whether Trent Baalke will stay or go. All we've heard reports. And, I think he's had plenty of time to dwell over this. And tomorrow, an announcement needs to be made, by 12 o'clock, hopefully by 10 or 11, but, latest by noon. We need to hear some word on that. And then we're going to move forward. It would be great, fresh start, come in here and bring a guy like Doug Peterson or Jim Caldwell, if we're going to go with the experience route or, if we want to go back and go with a new head coach like, Kellen Moore or Byron Leftwich, Nate Hackett or something like that, move in a right direction, a positive direction, get a coach that, players want to play for, players can rally behind, a guy that, can really ascend the level of play, guys that bring a more, can establish a culture over here because right now a lot of things are broken and Jaguars have to figure out. Shad Khan has to figure out what he wants in his team, what kind of team he wants us to be, and hire accordingly. You know what I mean? So, boom. Got to do it, man. Jaguar Trucker. Yo, Dalton, you think Baalke is gone or do you think he's back realistically? I think he's back. Only because, all this negative press came out about him. Shad Khan had the chance before this clown game to change things, and he didn't. So I don't know. Unless he's just hearing an overwhelming amount from these coaches that they're not going to work with Trent Baalke. I don't know. I was hoping he'd be out by now, but he's not. So tomorrow we'll know. And he better not let this linger. It better not be like 9, 10 o'clock and we have no statement because we as Jag fans deserve a statement tomorrow because he knows what's going on in the Jaguars fan base. He knows, how uneasy we are about this whole thing and how pissed off we are we don't win more. He knows. So go out there and do something, man. Go out there and answer. That's all I'm going to say. Caleb says, Shad needs to have a press conference. He needs to explain himself and to face the media as to why he decided to keep Baalke, not some pitcher statement and put up. Yeah, exactly, man. He needs to speak, and he needs to. And the thing is, like, Shad no longer gets the benefit of the doubt. You know what I mean? Like, it'd be different if this was year 4, year 5, and he's keeping bulky and he says, "Look, just trust me. This is going to work." Da, 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 da. Look, like, time is up, man. You've had 10 years and it's bad hire after bad hire after bad hire, and you're coming off of an historically terrible NFL hire. This is not, an all-time bad Jaguar hire. This goes into an all-time bad NFL hire, Urban Meyer, with that fiasco. It was terrible. You know what I mean? So they have to figure that out. They have to figure that out. And he no longer gets the benefit of the doubt. If everybody, if everybody out there saying, local media agents, different coaches that you're interviewing to lead your franchise, if they're saying that Trent Baalke is no good, then he's probably no good. You know what I mean? What's the expression? If it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's a duck. It's true. If everybody says Trent Baalke is a bad guy except for you, then you're being manipulated by a narcissist, which is exactly what Urban Meyer was too. You know what I mean? Get the stink out of the room. Get the stink out of the room. One winning season as owner. Just think about it. Yeah. And it was a fluke season too. I mean, if you pull up his records, it's just 1-10-6 season, and they won a couple of playoff games. All time bad. John Tom, do you see Urban coaching again? I don't. I think he did so bad in Jacksonville when it comes to it wasn't his coaching. It was like, what is he doing outside of the game? I mean, he's out there like, drinking out in public, not flying back with the team. And it's like, dude, his clear coaching is not his top priority. And I don't know when he's going to resurface again. You know what I mean? He might show up at Ohio State games and maybe some Florida games and, get the first quarter. Hey, welcome Urban Meyer, do the wave. But no, like I think he's damaged on the media part of it too. He just did so bad in Jacksonville where, he screwed himself, man. He hurt his reputation bad, really bad. Now there's, players coming out and speaking out against him. There was a thing about, there's a former Ohio State player that came out and, basically said Urban Meyer's a racist dude. Like they were doing a PowerPoint slide about how they can't wear hoodies inside of like the building. And they pulled up a picture of Trayvon Martin and said no hoodies allowed. And they used Trayvon Martin with a hoodie and said, like, no hoodies allowed. It's like, dude, that's a little out there, man. It's different if if you're going to use that example, show someone with a hoodie in class just leaning back like this. Don't show like, a 14-year-old or however old Trayvon Martin was just sitting there like, you know what I mean? It was just really bad, man. Really bad look. And yeah, there's all kinds of, now with the NIL stuff. I mean, it's just a lot of people are coming out now that people have a bigger voice than ever, and they're coming out and speaking against Urban Meyer. There's very few people coming to his side. The only people that come to his side are the elites of the elites. Tim Tebow will come to his side. Who else? Like Ezekiel Elliott, probably. Michael Thomas is a huge Urban Meyer fan. These guys will come out and speak for him, but yeah, it's other players have come out and said that never happened when they play with him. Okay, yeah. I mean, it went viral, so you might be right. Who knows? Maybe he's got an agenda, but that's just what I saw straight from a player's mouth. Urban will probably shift as an AD for a call. So, man, an athletic director, I doubt it, man. With his 9-to-5 worth ethic, I think he's damaged goods, man. I think he's completely damaged goods, and I think his time has run out. Maybe in 3 or 4 years his image cleans up, but by that time, like, how old is Urban Meyer? Urban 57 years old, which obviously, I mean, we're hoping a 67-year-old man accepts this job, but with how Urban Meyer is, he doesn't seem like Mr. Workaholic. You know what I mean? He turned away from that, from that micromanaging role. Now he just didn't want to do shit in Jacksonville. He did not want to do shit. You know what I mean? And I think he's got a lot of personal demons going on in his head, and I don't know when we see him next. Evan Neal with the first pick, or trade down for Jameson Williams and another pick or two. I would love to trade. I mean, my dream situation. Let me look at Tankathon website, because that should be. I think the official NFL draft order is out now. Okay, so Calvin Ridley is up for trade. I said that, look, if I were the Jaguars, trade the number 1 pick and move back and get pick number 8 with the Falcons. So swap picks. So now the Falcons are drafting number 1, the Jaguars are drafting number 8. And in exchange, we get Calvin Ridley for moving back. And then at pick number 8, go out there and get Jameson Williams or Chris Olave. And then boom, this wide receiver group is looking a lot better. You know what I mean? I love, that 1-2 punch. And then, I think Jamal Agnew is a great wide receiver number 3. And that massively improves the wide receiver room. So, yeah. And Captain Fulpo says, y'all still cutting off the man? You still cutting off the man bun if they fire Balky? Yes. If we fire Balky, I'm cutting it off, okay? I've made that decision. So if we fire Balky tomorrow, the man bun is gone, okay? So we'll see what happens. I saw a mock draft where we took Thibodeau and then traded out the second pick to move up to get number 28 to draft London. That's a dream scenario for me. London reminds me of Megatron. Yeah, I don't know a lot about it. And honestly, I made this point on, let me see real quick. UCF. How's it not here? Okay. So let me share my screen with you guys real quick. So the top receivers this year are these guys. Top 5 receivers as of last week. So number 1 is Cooper Kupp, Justin Jefferson, Devontae Adams, Jamar Chase, Deebo Samuel. Cooper Kupp was drafted in the third round, pick number 69. Jefferson, first pick number 22. Adams, he was in a second round, pick number 53 overall. Chase was a top 5 draft pick. Samuel was a second round pick number 36. So these guys are hidden in the draft. Very rarely is the number 1 wide receiver coming out of college, like the number 1 wide receiver in the NFL. So, man, these guys are scattered all around the top 3 rounds of the draft. We got to go find our guy. It's in there somewhere. It doesn't take super advanced scouting to get defensive ends, because it seems like if you draft the defensive end in the top 5, as long as they got their head on straight, they're going to be pretty damn good. But yeah, go out and find your guy, and get some good scouting going on and find your guy, because I mean it shows and that's every year, man. That's every year where this is like a random assortment of top five receivers out there. So we got to find our guy. Not a lot of good QB play in college this year, so the wide receivers look worse. It's a good point. It's a very good point. No, let's just draft who's a wide receiver coming out of LSU. I mean, the way they have Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase killing it. Let's just go that route. Ridley isn't worth the first round of TBH. Well, that's the thing. We'd be trading back, so we'd still have the number, 8 overall pick. We'd still have number 8 overall pick. We're just moving back a few slots, so then you pick him up and boom. And the Falcons are a team. When was the last time the Falcons had a really good edge rusher? When was the last time they had a great edge rusher? The last time was, I can't remember. I really can't remember. They need that guy. If they want to go Thibodeau or something like that, boom, insert that over there. Then, they I think they had a decent year, I think, for what they had. I mean, they got to figure out who their long-term quarterback is going to be. And that's a mess. I'm glad we have Trevor Lawrence, because, man, right now with the quarterback class and, who's for the Broncos, it's that looks like a good job, because obviously the Broncos are a good organization and stuff like that. But the way coaches are just getting fired, it's a lot of it's because of quarterback play. You know what I mean? So like you're gonna go to Denver and okay, here's Teddy Bridgewater who's getting passed around like a sorority girl, and there's Drew Lock, Mister big arm over there. Like, what are you gonna do over there? Matt Rule almost got fired this year for the Panthers when they're recycling out Cam Newton, Teddy Bridgewater, and Sam Darnold. You know what I mean? And obviously they had guys like who is that quarterback? I forget who he was. He was like an XFL guy, and they're playing. So yeah, it's a mess. Razor Jags fan with a $2 donation. Thank you so much, Razor Jags fan. Looks like an Arkansas type of guy. So shout out to him. I like that trade. Number 1 pick in exchange for Ridley and Falcons pick. I mean, that's the thing, man. You trade back, and can you imagine if we walk away with Ridley and the number 1 wide receiver on our board? Sign me up, man. Because look, we screwed Trevor Lawrence's rookie year. We got to go out there and find weapons. And guess what? We have to get creative when it comes to finding weapons. I mean, when we look back onto here, like Justin Jefferson, for example, I mean, the Vikings got him by trading away Stephon Diggs, and they picked up a first rounder and they got him. I mean, teams, they get creative. Teams get creative when it comes to like finding receivers. I mean, you saw DeAndre Hopkins, they traded a 2nd round pick and a player exchange for him. So get creative and find a guy, man. I mean, you see all the great teams do creative stuff, and it's risky, but look at the Rams. They trade like crazy, and they make the playoffs every damn season. So, go out and do something like that. All right, guys, it's been an hour and 2 minutes in this celebration stream. Going to end it here in a little bit. Thank you guys all so much for being here. 241 people, man. If you guys are here, man, drop your likes. I really appreciate you guys coming through. Sunday night, work tomorrow, but man, I'm excited for some NFL playoffs, man. We got 2 games Saturday, 3 games on Sunday, and then we have a Monday night game. So I'm fascinated to see what we get. Gonna check out the rest of this Chargers Raiders game. I don't know. I'd rather the Chargers get in because I want to root for them, to kind of win the AFC side of things. But also, if the Raiders win, they might not be in the head coaching pool. So I don't know. It'll be really, really interesting. But yeah, thank you guys all so much for being here. All 231 of you guys. Enjoy this win today. Jaguars went out there and dominated the Colts. It was about time we got a dominating win. Jaguars haven't had a dominating win in 2 years since the last time, or since the final week of the 2019 season. They pretty much dominated the Colts when they threw out Jacoby Brissett out there. So it was nice to get a win, and it wasn't a cheap win either. You know what I mean? If we would have scored a touchdown against the Jets at the end of that game, it would have been like, okay, we beat a crappy Jets team who has all their players and their head coach out with COVID. Even the Texans is like, okay, big deal. We beat the Texans, but this was a true ass whooping, and we needed that, man. This franchise, we all needed that. But thanks guys for being here. It's Reese, Volk Fang, Cameron, Nick, Red Jet. Thank you guys so much, man. Reese says, thank you for this channel. Come on off season, and a damn good head coach. I know. Now the suffering is over. Now we don't have to sit here on Sundays and watch our team lose 50-10. But all right, guys, I'll be at you guys with plenty of videos throughout the next week, 2-3 weeks, however long. Thank you guys for sticking with this channel. Almost 5 years of me being on YouTube. It's crazy. But, thanks everybody.